Stop. Right now. If you are watching this, your internal alarm system has already picked up a frequency that the rest of the world is too distracted to hear. Today is January 2026, and the first domino of the global collapse has just been tipped over in South America. What you are witnessing in the streets of Venezuela, the chaos, the trials, the systemic breakdown, is not a regional political fluke. It is a carefully calibrated laboratory experiment. The global elites are not watching Maduro's fall with concern, they are watching it with a stopwatch. They are measuring how long it takes for a civilized society to surrender its last shred of autonomy when the squeeze is applied. Why was this hidden? Why did the FBI and NASA keep the 1963 Arizona files under a level 7 classification for exactly 63 years? Because they knew that in January 2026, the global system would need to be rebooted, and they did not want you to have the exit key. You've been told to buy gold. You've been told to move to crypto. You've been told to trust the new digital banking regulations. But you are walking straight into a slaughterhouse. Today, I am declassifying a forgotten method, a survival science identified by the prophet William Branham as early as 1933. A method that is not just better than gold, it is the only currency that will be recognized in the 2026 tribunal. This isn't about a church message. This is about spiritual and physical intelligence. The Venezuela Signal is the physical proof that the grace period for the Western world has reached its mathematical threshold. Most people think they have time. They think 2026 is just another year on the calendar. They are wrong. This is the year the clock stops. The squeeze that Branham warned about is no longer a prophecy. It is a policy being implemented at this very moment by central banks and global intelligence agencies. If you ignore the next 10 minutes, you are choosing to be crushed by the machinery of the new system. The first domino has hit the floor. The sound you hear is the closing of a door that has been open for 2,000 years. We are entering the execution phase of the 1963 verdict. This video is your final notice. We are going to dive deep into the FBI files, the NASA anomalies, and the prophetic math that explains why your bank account is a countdown timer. This is the truth they tried to burn. This is the map of your survival. Welcome to the point of no return. On February 28, 1963, something appeared 26 miles above the Arizona desert that shattered the laws of physics. It was a ring of light, a cloud so massive and so high that it existed in a realm where there is no moisture to form clouds. NASA scientists were ordered into silence. Meteorological stations were told to categorize it as an anomaly and move on. But while the public was given a shrug and a lie, the FBI was opening a file that would remain active for 6 decades. Why? Because the man standing beneath that cloud, William Branham, didn't just see a light. He received a commission that identified the exact year the global system would reach its terminal velocity. The FBI didn't monitor Branham because they cared about his theology. They monitored him because he was revealing systemic disruptions. He was identifying a frequency that allowed a human being to operate outside the control of the 3 isms. The declassified records from that era show a terrifying intersection between high-level intelligence and supernatural reality. They knew that if the bride understood the secret of the 1963 cloud, the planned centralization of 2026 would fail. The cloud was a summons. It was the appearance of the 7 angels to open the 7 seals. But the system wants you to think the seals are a metaphor. They aren't. They are the operational blueprints for the demolition of the old world order. NASA has spent billions trying to find a physical explanation for the light of 1963, while simultaneously preparing the infrastructure for the digital sky of 2026. They are terrified because that cloud represented a higher tribunal, a court that sits above the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. The 1963 file reveals that the judgment was signed then, but the execution was scheduled for the 63rd year of the cycle. That year is now. Everything you see, the sudden urgency for a great reset, the forced digitization of your identity, and the geopolitical shifts in January 2026, is a desperate attempt by the system to outrun the sentence passed down in 1963. They are building a digital cage because they know the token is being applied to those who have ears to hear. The FBI monitored the prophet because he held the frequency of the exit. They tried to suppress it, but the January signal in Venezuela has leaked the truth. The 1963 cloud was not just a sign, it was a subpoena for the nations. And today the nations are being called to the bar. If you aren't sealed, you are already a part of the evidence. If you think history is a series of random accidents, you have already been hypnotized by the system. History is a mathematical grid, and the architect is not human. The period between 1963 and 2026 is exactly 63 years. In the science of biblical numerology and prophetic cycles, the number 63 is the ultimate threshold. It is the product of $7 times $9. 7 is the number of church completion or perfection. 9 is the number of final judgment or finality. When you multiply them, you get the final product of the church's time on earth. We are living in the mathematical result of 2,000 years of history. The cloud appeared at exactly 26 miles in altitude. This was not a random height. It was a GPS marker pointing directly to the year 2026. This is the year the tribunal moves from the spiritual dimension into the physical realm. The January signal, the collapse of the old order in the south, is the sonic boom of the 1963 explosion finally reaching the ground. For 63 years, the system had a grace buffer. They could print money, they could lie, they could manipulate the masses without immediate consequence. But in January 2026, the buffer has been depleted. The math has reached zero. Look at the global economy. Look at the great squeeze being applied to the middle class. It is a mathematical mirror of the 1963 decree. When the 7 angels appeared, they opened a book that contained the destiny of the nations. In 2026, that book is being read aloud through events. The 63-year cycle is the measurement of the mercy gap. Every year since 1963 was an opportunity to get sealed, but the world chose to get system integrated. Now the system is crashing, and the integration is becoming a trap. The 26-mile marker was a warning. When the clock hits 26, the squeeze becomes permanent. The math doesn't lie. You can ignore a preacher, you can ignore a video, but you cannot ignore the numbers on your bank statement or the price of bread in a hyperinflated economy. The 63rd year is the year of the harvest of judgment. The first domino has fallen because the math demanded it. There is no negotiation with a prophetic equation. You are either on the right side of the numbers or you are being divided by them. The January verdict is the proof that the equation has been solved. In June 1933, William Branham saw a vision of the geopolitical landscape of the future that was so accurate, it should have made every intelligence agency in the world tremble. He saw 3 isms rising like giants to devour the earth: Nazism, fascism, and a mysterious third ism, a centralized collective force that would eventually swallow the first 2. Most historians think Nazism and fascism were defeated in 1945. They are wrong. They weren't defeated. They were absorbed into the third ism to create the ultimate system of global control. The Venezuela Signal we see today in 2026 is the final liquidation of the old version of this third ism to make way for the universal version. The system no longer needs individual dictators like Maduro. They are moving toward a decentralized tyranny where the dictator is the algorithm in your pocket and the social credit score in your bank account. The transition we see in January is the cleaning of the stage. They are removing the loud dictators to install the silent ones. Branham saw that this thirdism would lead to a total centralization of power, a union of church and state that would squeeze the life out of any individual who refused to conform. This is the Great Reset. What happened in Venezuela is the pilot program. They wanted to see if they could collapse a nation's economy, trigger a verdict, and then offer a new system as the only solution. It worked. Now they are scaling it globally for 2026. The 1933 vision stated that the West would eventually become a map of ashes because it allowed this third ism to replace the Word of God. We are witnessing the final merger. Politics is a theater. The real movement is the centralization of the frequency. They want everyone on the same digital grid, under the same tribunal. The first domino is the death of the old sovereignty. Once the South is reset, the North is next. This is the fulfillment of the seventh vision. The cruel leadership that Branham predicted is no longer a person, it is the system itself. If you think you can fight this through a ballot box or a political protest, you are still asleep. The third ism is not a political party, it is a spiritual trap designed to squeeze the bride into a corner where her only option is the supernatural. The January signal is the announcement that the trap has been set. The squeeze is not coming. The squeeze is here. If you have tried to buy a home, start a business, or even buy groceries in January 2026, you have felt the invisible hands tightening around your throat. This is the aperto that the prophet warned about, a time when the bride would be pushed into a position where she could no longer function in the normal economy. But this isn't just bad luck or inflation. It is a weaponized economic blockade. The FBI and the globalists have known since 1963 that the only way to break the independent spirit of the bride was to control her access to the physical world. In 2026, money is being transformed into a permission-based system. Your savings are no longer yours. They are a social credit granted by the tribunal of the banks. If your frequency doesn't match the system's frequency, your access is cut. The Venezuela Signal is the proof of how fast this can happen. In 24 hours, an entire nation's wealth was reset. This is the squeeze in its physical form. They want you desperate. They want you hungry. They want you so terrified of the 2026 reset that you will accept any CeeLo hand seal they offer in exchange for security. But there is a flaw in their plan. The squeeze was also prophesied to be the trigger for the third pull, a supernatural power that operates outside the digital grid. The system is tightening the net, but the bride is learning how to walk through walls. The financial trap of 2026 is designed to force you into a choice, the seal of the system or the seal of the prophet. Your bank account is the battlefield. The inflation you feel is the fever of a dying world. The first domino in the South was the signal that the traditional economy has been officially deactivated. From this point forward, every cent you own is being monitored by the 2026 tribunal. They are watching where you spend, what you support, and who you follow. If you are still relying on gold as your ultimate safety net, you are ignoring the fact that the system can simply ban the trade of gold. The only thing they cannot ban is the forgotten method. The squeeze is the wall that separates the system-compliant from the spirit-led. In January 2026, the wall just got 10 feet higher. Are you going to climb, or are you going to be crushed? Here is the secret they tried to burn. Here is the tesoro natural of the spirit. There is a method of survival that doesn't rely on the world's supply chain, the world's banks, or the world's permissions. In 1963, William Branham spoke of a third pull, a power so absolute that it could create bread in a desert and healing in a tomb. This is better than gold. While the world is panicking over the January signal and the collapse of the dollar, There is a forgotten method to tap into a storehouse that is located outside the 26-mile altitude of the cloud. This is not a religious ritual, it is a prophetic protocol. Just as an ancient seed carries the DNA to produce fruit forever without needing a laboratory, the token of the spirit carries the DNA of your survival. The forgotten method involves a frequency shift. The squeeze only works on those who are resonating with the world system. If you are dependent on their digital currency, their food supply, and their medical system, you are squeezable. But the 1963 protocol teaches you how to decouple your soul from the thirdism. This is what the FBI was truly afraid of. They weren't afraid of a man in a suit. They were afraid of a secret society of the sealed who didn't need the system to survive. The forgotten method is a 21-day calibration of your spirit. It is the process of applying the token to your life so that when the 2026 reset hits its peak, the destroyer, the system, passes over you. It is about supernatural autonomy. This is the method that the elites have used for centuries, but they inverted it. They use centralization. We use connection. They use control. We use commission. The 230,000 of you who will see this video today are being given the exit code. You don't need to fear the map of ashes if you aren't on the map. The forgotten method is the only way to operate off the grid spiritually while remaining in the world physically. It is the science of the third pull. Gold will become a burden, but the token will become your wings. The January signal was sent to tell you, activate the method now or lose your chance forever. The tribunal is no longer in session. The deliberation is over. The first domino in Venezuela was the sound of the judge's gavel hitting the bench. The verdict of 2026 has been signed, and the execution phase has begun. You have seen the NASA anomalies. You have heard the FBI's silence, and you now understand the 63-year mathematical cycle that leads to this very hour. This is not a cool theory for you to discuss in the comments. This is a final notice. The system is giving you a choice. Accept the social credit seal of the reset, or accept the seal of the prophet through the forgotten method. There is no third option. The January signal was a mercy, a loud, violent warning to wake you up before the squeeze becomes a total vacuum. More than 42,000 of you watched the clock stop, but only a few will actually move. The rest will wait until the digital wall is fully built, and by then it will be too late. The 2026 Survival Protocol is the roadmap we have declassified for this final hour. It is a 21-day spiritual and physical alignment designed to get you sealed. It is the manual that the system doesn't want you to have because it teaches you how to be unsqueezable. We have taken the insights from 1933, the math from 1963, and the signals of 2026 to create a frequency shield for your family. If you are feeling the aperto in your chest, in your bank account, and in your soul, that is the signal telling you to act. The 21-day protocol is your third pull training. It is the only way to ensure that when the map of ashes is completed, you and your house are found in the secret place. The link to the protocol is in the first comment. It is the tesoro natural of the spirit. Do not wait for the next domino to fall. The sound you hear is the end of an era and the beginning of the harvest. The verdict is in. The squeeze is on. Get sealed or be consumed by the reset. The time is exactly $7 times $9.63. The cloud is here. The question is, where are you? Click the link, secure your seal, and I will see you on the other side of the squeeze. The clock has stopped. This is the verdict.